All right, starting right off with updates coming in from the US, Donald Trump and 18 others have been indicted on a range of criminal charges, this time relating to the former president's alleged attempts to alter Georgia's 2020 election results.
Right, and Trump, of course, maintains that he is being targeted and that he will produce a large, complex, detailed report at a news conference next week that will exonerate him. He sounds rather confident.
That was exactly my takeaway from after reading all the updates. Now, a day after former US President Donald Trump and his allies got indicted in the Georgia elections case, Trump's White House chief of staff is now trying to move the case against him to federal court. Mark Meadows, who served in the Trump administration, was among 19 people charged for trying to overturn the 2020 election defeat in the state of Georgia.
Right. In a new court filing, Meadows has argued that the case against him should be transferred from Georgia state so that he could argue in federal court that he is immune from the prosecution under the US Constitution.
His lawyers say that charges against him amount to state interference in a federal official's duties that violates Constitution's supremacy clause. Meadows also intends to file a separate request for prompt dismissal of the charges. Meadows was charged with 2 counts in Monday's indictment, though Meadows is the first defendant who has tried to take the case to federal court, but others, including Trump, are also expected to follow.
Right, and meanwhile, Trump says that he will hold a press conference, as we mentioned earlier, in the coming Monday. This will be in response to his latest indictment, which is his 4th in less than 5 months.
Yeah, and Trump is absolutely confident that this report that he will bring out on Monday is going to exonerate him of all the charges. The press conference is scheduled just days before Trump and his co-defendants are expected to surrender on the 25th of August. That's the amount of time that they have left with them. And out of 41 total felony counts in the indictment, 13 were presented against Trump.
Trump has denounced the charges on his social media platform Truth Social. He wrote that he will release a irrefutable report proving his claims of an election fraud in Georgia and that all charges should be dropped based on the findings of that report.
Let's see what's in store.
And for more on this, we earlier spoke to our correspondent Susan Tehrani. She tells us how the former president wants to hold a press conference next week and if he is trying to prove the 2020 elections were rigged. Listen in.
Former President Donald Trump has 10 days to turn himself in regarding accusations of attempting to overturn the 2020 presidential elections in Georgia. However, on Tuesday, the former president took to Truth Social saying that he will hold a press conference this coming Monday after his team has compiled evidence regarding, quote, presidential election fraud, and he will present that during that press conference and that all charges should be dropped against him. Next Monday is just a few days before that August 25th deadline where he's expected to turn himself in. Meanwhile, in response to the former president's claim regarding fraud, the Georgia Republican governor, Brian Kemp, took to Twitter and responded saying that there was no evidence of election interference or fraud in 2020 and that Georgia's election process is safe and secure.
Now, Susan also tells us why some of Trump's co-defendants are attempting to take the Georgia case to a federal court. Listen in.
Chief of Staff to Donald Trump, who is one of the 18 people of alleged co-conspirators regarding overturning elections in that Georgia case, has argued that his case should be transferred to a federal courtroom because the allegations against him have been leveled from during the time that he was serving at the White House. Analysts say that others, including the former president, may request the same. First of all, because the jury pool will be more diverse and possibly in favor of the Trump team. And also because there is a greater chance that once it's in a federal courtroom, it can go all the way to the Supreme Court.